Nigeria's external reserve fell by $2.9 billion in first half of 2023, the highest drop in 6 years. Nigeria's pension fund index records 44% gains year to date in stock market rally. Plus, oil rallies as Saudi Arabia extends supply cut. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Musa Abubakar. Well, it's good to have you join us. Well, let's bring you up to speed with business development. Nigeria's external reserve has fallen by an estimated $2.8 billion in the first half of 2023 as Nigeria continues to struggle with weak crude oil output and lack of foreign investor participation in the capital market. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria shows that the external reserves opened the year at about $37 billion, but have now dropped to about $34.1 billion as of June 2023. The external reserve has also dropped by almost $1 billion since the Tinubu administration came into power on May 29th, 2023. A review of the data shows that this is the largest half-year drop since 2015, when the external reserve went from $34.4 billion at the end of the year to $28.1 billion by the end of the first 6 months of June 2015. As many Nigerians panic over an impending increase in petrol pump price, the Independent Petrol Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, an association of distributors and transporters of petroleum products at the top, say there is no plan to increase petrol price to 700 naira per litre. The association, in an interview with newsmen in Abuja, dismissed reports of the alleged increase of pump price as prediction and speculation. It said fuel price is being driven by market forces, and given by the current high exchange rate, the pump price of petrol could increase, hence the prediction. Now, the Micro, Small and Medium Scale Enterprises Development Agency is strengthening partnerships towards addressing the challenges of funds, equipment, workspace, power, and other key requirements for micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, across the country as part of this year's activities to mark World MSMEs Day. Director General of SMEDAN, Olawale Fasanya, says government through the Common Facility Center of the agency has procured latest equipment to enable MSMEs become competitive, not just in pricing, by always in quality. The Common Facility Centers have been established in Abuja, Kaduna, Niue, and Ikorodu. The agency has also unveiled other programs like the National Business Skills Development Initiative, Cluster Support Program, MSME's Export Facilitation Program, and SMEDAN Talent Hunt, among others, to provide entrepreneurship skills, funding, information, and support for MSMEs across the country.
As is domiciled in such different local governments, direct access to information and other services that they need to jumpstart their businesses, because we believe that information is power. So if we have the right information, we can take the right decision. We are also tilting our programs more towards digital transformation. And then we're already talking with some development partners to rejuvenate our innovation hubs in Lagos, in Bauchi, in Kano, and then in these headquarters.
Well, last week, the federal government announced the discontinuation of funding of professional bodies and councils with effect from 2026. The Director General of the Budget Office, Ben Akwabuize, disclosed this in a circular that the decision was in line with the decision of the Presidential Committee on Salaries. He noted that the implementation will be effected from 31st December 2026. So many discussions have been on how financially and economically prudent it is for Nigeria to slash down the cost of governance as the country faces various economic challenges. We have joining us from Lokoja, Kogi State, and economist Professor Alabi. Well, talking about cost of governance, let's start with this. Do you support discontinuing budgetary allocations to professional bodies?
Well, thank you very much. We're talking about professional bodies, some of which are privately established, even though they are doing great job for the country. Some of them are established by government agencies. My take is, in the light of the current reality, I am of the opinion that they do not need to be supported. I belong to 7 professional associations, and none of them are funded. Nigerian Institute of Management is the largest single multi-sectoral professional association in this country, established in 1961. Up to date, no cover is being given. So that body, even though it's chartered by Act of Parliament, we have been surviving on our own. So in the era of cost reduction, in the era of prudent management of resources, I think professional bodies should be ingenious in generating revenues to fund themselves. If you have projects and you want to do launching or you want to do fundraising, that can be done. But monthly subvention or yearly subvention to professional bodies who are professional members doing their private and public businesses, to me, it's not okay. And I stand to be corrected. Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered is the first professional association in this country, foremost, in 1961. It has never been. And we've been surviving. I have been a zonal president for North Central. I've been a chapter chairman. I've seen presidents that run the association for a long time. So I want to believe that it's high time to identify these professional bodies and give them the task of creatively bringing out revenue sources for themselves.
Okay. I understand it's like most of these professional bodies also act as regulators.
That's right. Yes, you are right. You are right. For instance, we have instead of chartered accountant, we have ANAN, who regulates the price of accounting profession. We have engineering, Korean, and Hausa, who regulates the price of the engineering profession. We have Nigerian Institute of Management Charter that regulates the price of management. We have Institute of Marketing. We have Institute of Building. Yes, they do. All I'm saying is that it is not appropriate in this era we are. If you are chartered, it means that you are recognized by government, so you go out and look for ingenious ways of generating revenue. It is not government to be funding us. We're talking about era of prudent management. Okay, so all we require to do is that if you have projects, if you have undertakings, and you want to do fundraising, you want to apply for government, yes, but a subvention to me is simplicity, breastfeeding or baby feeding, as it were. We can do a whole lot for ourselves. Come on, you can even bring up programs and projects and charge government for that. But rather than asking for subvention, what subvention does is for you to sit down, armchair, and expect money from the federal account. And we know that we are not baking the cake. The cake is going down. We should come up with ingenious ideas of creating and generating revenue. We are professional bodies. I told you I belong to 7 professional bodies.
Okay,
That's what I remember. So that's it.
Professor, since you said they can really stand on their own, then
Yeah.
why do we have to wait until 2026?
Oh, that's a big question. That's $1 million question. For me, it is not appropriate. Why 2026 for God's sake? If you want to say because you don't want to win a child and throw him to the public, perhaps a year. But 2026 is that far. Why are we waiting till that? A policy of government should be that, oh, we are going in dialogue with them and say, look, we are stopping this. I want to say this with also some modesty. Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered is not under subvention. And it's been existing since 1961. So what you need to do is rather than giving that moratorium of 3 years, if you want to be that nice as it were, quote and unquote, to them, just tell them, look, henceforth, because of the dual resources of government and the compelling needs, we are going to stop this by the next budget. And that will be all. By 2024, they will all go, and it will win a child, isn't it? And you don't wait for 3 years before you stop breastfeeding. You just stop at the point and say, look, I'm giving 3 months, 6 months, and that's all. So, on the whole, 2023 budget, if they are captured, good. But we expect that by 2024, every professional body, be it engineering, law, whatever it is, if you're under subvention, I think creative ideas by these professionals should be sought out so they can sort out themselves.
But looking at this effort, would you say we are doing enough, or what suggestion would you, give regarding which way to go in terms of cutting the cost of governance?
Thank you very much. Cost of governance is the totality of revenue and recurrent expenditures that government use in funding its activities. And in this climate, developed and developed countries, emphasis is to invest more and spend more on projects that are income generating and that will raise investment. For over here in Nigeria, the cost of governance is very, very high. In fact, it is too high, it has been too high, it is alarming, and it must be checked. It is not sustainable. Therefore, there is a need for us to look at how we can look at the entire gamut of activities. And of course, a whole lot of them. Let me just say this and quickly too, that the reason for the high cost of governance, to me, is fundamental. Three areas have been the reason for this thing. Number one is our constitution is structured. Give power to the government, central government, federal government, to get a whole lot of resources to spend. That is one. You also have the bureaucracy we have, right? Several MDAs, even performing multiple functions and duplicate functions. That's another one. The third one is our subnational. Our state and local governments are just there, spending and spending. So until we look at the holistic structure, we will not be able to do that. And there are specific suggestions I can give to bring out cost of governance. And very, very important. Because, let me say this, cost of governance in Nigeria will continue to go up as long as we have the current federal structure with various MDAs. It is going to go up as long as we have the 776 local governments and their structures, as long as we have 36 states and their structures, and inflation is on the increase. Public debt has mounted, so we have to pay those debts. And of course, population is increasing. So all this will continue to push cost of governance higher. But I want to say this, if you want to are serious about bringing down cost of governance, we must address some fundamental issues. Number one, our MDAs. Our MDAs, ministry, department, agencies of government, are duplicated, and some of them are performing similar functions. We are saying over and over again, let us restructure and merge some of this ministry so I can reduce personnel. Let me say also that what pushes up our cost of governance is recurrent. And the implication is that we have less money for capital projects, less money for investment, and therefore less money for economic growth. So reduce the MDA, match those who are justification. That's number one. Number two is political office holders. I don't know.
Okay.
The office is too attractive.
Okay.
It's too attractive. You have governors, salaries, you have senators, you have House of members, all of them having jumbo salaries. That's one. You see paraphernalia. I read over the news 200 special assistants and special aids, 300 essays.
So these things we need to actually make
Yes.
sure that we check them and reduce them as much as possible.
Yes.
Thank,
And the other area has to do
thank
with,
you very much, Professor. This is an ongoing conversation, and I believe we'll continue this. Thank you very much for
thank
sharing your
you.
thought with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now moving on, the Nigerian Pension Fund Index gained 16% in the month of June as investor sentiment sends stocks soaring to record highs. Data from the Nigerian Exchange Group also shows the Pension Fund Index has returned 44% or 88% in annualized returns, one of the best 6 months in a long time. The NGX Pension Fund Index in Nigeria is a benchmark that monitors the progress of pension fund assets under management in the country. Its purpose is to serve as a standard for evaluating the performance of pension fund investments in Nigeria. According to the NGX pension tracks the top 40 companies in terms of market capitalization and liquidity. The positive performance of the index is likely to benefit pension fund contributors, especially those who select aggressive fund categories. The Nigerian bourse closed last week on a positive note, sustaining more than 600,000 basis points. Bossy Abel has a summary of market activities for the week.
Last week, the market opened for 3 trading days as the federal government of Nigeria declared Wednesday, June 28th and Thursday, June 29th, 2023 public holidays to commemorate Eid el-Kabir celebration. The NGX All-Share Index and market capitalization appreciated by 2.98% to close the week at 60,968.27 basis points and 33.1 trillion naira. All other indices finished higher, while the NGS ASM and NGX sovereign board indices closed flat. At a turnover of 2.3 billion shares worth 41.5 billion naira in 28,095 deals was traded by investors on the floor of the exchange. The financial services industry led the activity chart with 1.7 billion shares valued at 24.6 billion naira traded in 14,227 deals. The conglomerate industry followed with 98.4 million shares worth 379.1 million naira in 1,176 deals. The third place was the consumer goods industry with a turnover of 96.8 million shares at 2.2 billion naira in 3,470 deals. Trading in the top 3 equities were Access Holdings, United Bank for Africa and Guaranteed Trust Holding Company. They jointly accounted for 844.5 million shares worth 16.3 billion naira in 5,493 deals. A total of 5.058 million units of exchange-traded products, ETPs, valued at 36.7 million naira, were traded in 105 deals, as well as a total of 31,460 units of federal government bonds valued at 32.1 million naira were traded in 20 deals. The summary of price changes saw 77 equities appreciated in price during the week, 59 equities depreciated in price, while 20 equities remained unchanged. Bossede Able, Business Express.
Meanwhile, the market closed this Monday on a positive note as the NGX All-Share Index appreciated to 61,949.24 basis points. Market capitalization advanced to 33.731 trillion naira, 1.205 billion naira. Billion naira worth of shares were traded on the floor of the exchange in 12,128 deals valued at 14 billion naira. Stocks across the globe closed slightly higher on the first trading day in July. Nekalko has global market update.
Asian stock markets rose this Monday as investors digested a slew of manufacturing activity reports that showed slowing output in the region. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index rose 2%, leading gains in the region. The Shanghai Composite gained 1.31%, while Japan's Nikkei 225 popped 1.7% higher. European stock markets were muted after closing the first half of the year 8.8% higher. Germany's DAX and the French CAC both rose fractionally, while UK's FTSE gained 0.33%. In the US, stock futures were little changed Monday as traders prepared for the second half of what's already been an outstanding year on Wall Street. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average dipped 27 points, while S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 futures traded slightly higher. African stocks started the week in mixed territory. South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40 appreciated by 0.12% in early trade. Namibia's overall index and Ghana's GSE Composite rose marginally, while Tunisia's Tun Index and Morocco's Free Float Index were in negative territory.
Now to energy. Oil rose on Monday after top exporters Saudi Arabia and Russia announced a supply cut for August, overshadowing concern over a global economic slowdown and the potential for further increases to U.S. interest rates. Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak said on Monday that seeking to nudge up global oil prices in concert with Saudi Arabia will reduce its oil exports by 500,000 barrels per day in August. Brent crude futures were up 0.9% or 68 cents at $76.09 a barrel after gaining 0.8% on Friday. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose nearly 1% or 69 cents to $71.33, having gained 1.1% in the previous session. Still on commodities, gold prices fell on Monday as a stronger dollar dented the safe haven metals appeal. Let's now see how other commodities are trading around the world. Well, that's it. This is where we end this edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTA's channel. Business Express returns Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. I'm Musa Bakar. Thanks for your company.